I moved to Balboa Island 25 years ago.
Because?
And because the children were out of the house and we lived in Nellygale, and it was time to come back to the beach is where my husband and I started. And and I had just sold my company. I desperately needed something creative to fill that void. I did not want to stay on with the company after it was sold. I thought, how can I stay out of trouble? So anyway,
As my friend would say, how can I not drink at breakfast?
Yeah, really. It was called Teddy Bears and Teacups. People still talk about it. I only had it for about 5 years, but then it was sold. We sat down and thought, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to bring all those toys and dolls to the party room. We'll do dress-up parties for the children and adults. And then the front part of that, the front half, was retail. And we did have a great selection. It was a very cute store. And still to this day, even the dads will tell me, oh, my daughter's 5th birthday was there and she was princess something. And yeah, we had limousines pulling up. We once had a horse and buggy pull up with, the children, girls in it, coming
Shirley,
to.
it's vacant.
I know.
Born out of necessity because you had an infant?
Yeah, born out of necessity, born actually when my son Noel was born. And a partner that was a neighbor, and she had a baby at the same time. So yes, it was out of need. We started with one little product. The company was called NOJO, Noel Joanna Inc., and we made bedding and nursery decor for infants. And we were new to this, and our timing was great because a lot of stores would sit there with 25 empty cribs. We decided to come and fill them with beautiful bedding, and it increased their profits, obviously, and sales. If I look back, I knew I'd be an entrepreneur because I started out very young trying to sell everything, and both things, and telling everybody what to do.
And your husband was part of it, or?
No, for a short period of time, but that didn't work so well. We had stories like, the 8-ball from the pool table ended up in the box of infant seat covers that we shipped out to a local baby store. So it was, yes.
Apple almost went out of business 5 times,
I know, I know. To come back to the beach, it was either Lido or Balboa Island. And
why choose here?
Pardon?
Why choose here? Yeah.
Oh, it just suited our lifestyle. And my parents were here at the time, and my father sat on the bench, on the boardwalk next to this house. And he said there was like
North Bayfront? Or?
South Bayfront.
South Bayfront.
Yeah. No contest. He said, this is the one you need to buy. Civically, always.
Always?
Always.
Instilled by your parents?
I think instilled by my parents, and I have a sister with disabilities, and who I just got back from visiting in Stockton. And so I think that sort of sensitivity, and when you grow up with that,
Serve
others.
others.
Yeah, serve others and make it better for others. Someone invited me to some kind of a tea at a house on Balboa Island, and said it was a museum event. And I said, well, at this time they've got this storage room above, as you know, on South Bayfront, near the ferry. That was the museum. It wasn't a museum. It was really a room.
Storage room.
Yes, it was a storage room with some pictures tacked up. It was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later. It wasn't like right away. And somebody called me randomly. It was actually one of my neighbors, and she was involved. She was on the board. And she says, I've heard through the grapevine that you told somebody that, if we ever decided to move, that you would be interested. Well, we're looking at a cottage on Marina Avenue, finally. And would you be willing to look at that cottage with me? So I did. It was like the next day. We go to the cottage, and I'm going, oh, boy. So everything is going, this is perfect. It's a perfect spot for them. at that point, I didn't really know much about their finances, but there wasn't much to know. So, oh, sure, I'll be interested. Well, be careful what you say yes to. So that was, we only moved here a year ago, and I've been involved, I think, 9 years now. So the first 7 to 8 years was from beginning to end. We signed a lease in August, and we opened the museum in December, just like we did here, but last year. And it really was instant success. And it was a place for me, as I said earlier, to stay out of trouble, put all my energy there. And creatively, it's a great outlet, and the community benefited by it. I had a great board, but one man in particular, and he since passed away. He never got to see this, which makes me very sad. And that was Jack Northrop. His wife is still alive, and his daughter is on our board now. His dream for this museum, he wanted a permanent home. If he said it once, he said it 20 times. So he was older, so he became very ill. And I kind of stood next to him. I think he was on hospice and said, okay, Jack, just sign right here. Yeah. A lot of people will write down, it's the best small museum I've ever been. And they used to say that about the cottage, too. And that was really small. I think it makes people happy when they walk in here. And I think it's because we have kind of a family feel and community. It's not like walking in where we don't have to, luckily we're so small, we have one employee that stands at the front and a volunteer that greets people, but we don't have, there's no guard standing here. And people, especially, and it's free, and they sit and work on the puzzle, and the kids are in the sandbox, and that was all by design to make it a community place. And it happens to be on Balboa Island, but the reality is we're a Newport Beach museum and harbor, covering the harbor. It's a way of giving back to many. With a business, they were successful. That more benefits me than...
And the employees.
Yeah, and the employees, but when you sell a company, as you know, that benefit is really more for you and your family. And where this... when you're doing whatever money you're serving many, and it makes a lot of people happy.